Welcome back, everyone. Well, it should be apparent by now, one of our favorite things to do here is to check in with our mayor, find out what's going on. And so joining me today is Mayor Joanne Yepsen. Welcome back.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's always great to have you here, Joanne. Mayor, sorry. The charter issue is a big one. And we've been trying to cover it. Now, the reason I was hesitating is that's a pretty dense topic. So I was just trying to think how to approach you about it. I'd like our viewers to know more about why this review is taking place. So let's start there.
Right. So there's a lot of reviews happening in the city on a regular basis. And there is a process that one follows as a city to make sure that we follow state law. And that's our job here, whether we're reviewing and updating our zoning, which we happen to be involved in right now, or our actual charter on how we operate as a city government.
Yeah, got it. Now, it's dictated that this review takes place every 10 years.
We actually say that to ourselves. So
yes, right.
The last charter that the voters had an opportunity to vote on and accepted, I should say, the last successful charter passage occurred in 2001 under Mayor Ken Klotz. We've had two other charter revision proposals come to referendum, meaning they're on the ballot, but they both failed.
You know, and I want to cycle back on that just for a second. So the commission is put together from the mayor's office,
yes,
right?
Correct.
Okay. And that commission then looks at the charter, interviews a lot of people, makes recommendations and updates. That goes into a referendum, and then the voters actually vote on that. And if that's passed, then that becomes law, and if it doesn't pass, then it doesn't.
Right.
Right.
So people may remember voting on a proposed charter revision for a city manager form of government back in 2012.
Yeah, right. Sure.
That wasn't considered an official proposal because it didn't go through the mayor's office or even city council at that point. That was a citizens group, very important process, but not doesn't meet our at least every 10 years is what we have put in our charter that the voters approved in 2001, that we must review and update, hopefully, at least review our city charter at least every 10 years from an official city commission. So that's what's going on now.
Yeah, got it. Now, the commission is 15 members. You were telling me the mayor also invited the commissioners to recommend someone for the commission. Correct?
Yes. So they each council member has a recommendation that I approved and appointed to the 15-member commission.
Right. Now the members have to be appointed by you, but you don't have to actually say to the commissioners.
No,
make a recommendation.
Right. So the law dictates that this is a mayoral appointment, but I felt it was important that each member of the city council feel like they had a representative on this very important review process.
Yes, taking the game for sure. As you probably know, we've covered a couple of the meetings that they've had where they've interviewed former mayors, right, former commissioners. They seem to be doing a very thorough job. It was Bob Turner is the chair of that, correct?
Right. So I spent a good share of my summer recruiting the members, and I did it very carefully. I felt it was really important to have different age groups, different political affiliations, different geographic locations within the city, and different skill sets. So we needed some legal assistance. We needed people with a business mentality. We needed people with finance. We needed people that had governmental experience. And I was really, it was really important to me to recruit people with marketing experience. Because I feel like some of the reasons perhaps some of the updates have not passed referendum in the past is because the community doesn't feel a part of it. The community doesn't really know what is being proposed and why it's important. Why does this matter to me in my everyday life with my family? So I feel like that's a big part of this Charters Commission's charge is to come up with a proposed change or update to our current charter and then market it and educate the public about why it's important, what they're proposing, and how much is this going to cost the city.
Right. Now, the changes they vary. If you really go to substantive changes. You might recall that city manager vote at that referendum in 2012. We currently have a commissioner form of government, but there's also the strong mayor form of government, more the traditional type. I think it's a better way to describe that too, right? Or the city manager form of government. So this is really can be a very, very thorough review of the whole structure of the way the government operates, correct?
That's correct. And the reason for the review is not just to look at changing the form of government. Their first charge, this commission's first charge, is to go through the current charter and review really paragraph by paragraph and figure out what city laws, what state laws haven't been incorporated since 2001, so that we're dealing with a document that can help our government function in a 2016 world. So we're going to have a lot of hopefully updates and review changes occurring with or without the proposed change of form of government.
You know, I really want to applaud you and the members of the commission too. This could be a quagmire, a process like this, right? But it does, our opinion is that, you know, we're monitoring it very closely, and it looks like it's going to get someplace. And quite honestly, Mayor, you know, I just think it's a very healthy thing every 10 years or so to really look and say what's working, what isn't working. You know, what are we going to do about this?
Right. And I don't want people to, and I don't know what the charter is going to finally recommend, the Charter Commission. Bob Turner is chairing it. I asked him to chair it. He's the governmental professor at Skidmore College. He knows government. He knows a lot of people in the community. There's a lot of good members of this commission that are all thinking in different ways, and hopefully they'll come together at the end and propose something to this community, whether it's staying with our current form of government but updating the charter so that it makes more sense to the city now, or change the form of, that's the other extreme.
That's right, the extreme, sure.
Yeah, to actually think about having our city government operate under a different form of government, which is kind of interesting to me because I don't think people should be afraid of a change. And I just want to remind the viewers that if a change is proposed and they think it is going to behoove the city to go in that direction, this is a city charter that dictates how City Hall is run. Not whether we have good attendance at the track, not whether your businesses on Broadway are doing really well or not, not who's coming to SPAC to perform, not all the creative economy and all the wonderful quality of life issues certainly are affected by who's elected, what form of government we have, but the city is successful because of a much bigger picture than the city government. So I want to remind people that this city charter that was being reviewed and perhaps proposed a change is really dictating how City Hall runs as a government. And how we can better serve the public is always what my first priority is.
Oh boy, that's really well said. Thanks. Well, it's great to have you in. We ran out of time on that one. But again, Mayor, thank you very much for coming in, and please come back and keep us updated on everything that's going on.
Happy to. Thank you.
Thank you. To see this interview again, you can head to our website, looktvonline.com.